Welcome to this group. Today, individuals and entities across nations, its government, industries, organizations, and academia stand on the brink of a technological tsunami in cyberspace, geospace, and space that is fundamentally altering the way each component of a nation lives, works, shops, communicates, and goes to war. In its scale, scope, and complexity, the technology revolution triggered transformation across cyberspace, geospace, and space is unlike anything humankind has experienced before in any of its prior technological revolutions. The speed of the current ideas, innovations, technology, and breakthroughs has no historical precedent, and it is fundamentally disrupting almost every component of a nation. In addition, the breadth, depth, and impact of these changes herald the transformation of entire interconnected and interdependent systems of socialization, education, innovation, production, management, governance, and the very security. Now, while there is no way to forecast just how this technology revolution or evolution will unfold, one thing is clear: the response to it must be integrated and comprehensive, and it should involve all stakeholders of a nation. Now, the reality of the digital global age necessitates that Darwin's evolutionary theory, a theory that has now evolved from natural selection to the survival of the fittest to symbiosis to mutualism, be translated and scaled from micro to macro level and understood and evaluated from the perspective of the transformative and evolutionary changes of technology transformation as seen across nations. It's important that we evaluate how did things come to be this way in our lives or in our communities' lives and our nations? Which technology has created or which technologies have created this state of reality? What are the underlying processes? And what are the existing and emerging security risks as a result? The changes we as individuals, our communities and entities across NGIOA, that means nations, its government, industries, organizations, and academia, are going through will change the shape of not only our thoughts or ideas or outlook, vision, character, culture, destiny, but the very security of our nations and survivals of human race. So let's take a step forward and think a little deeper. What steps are necessary for ideas, innovation, changes, transformation, revolution, and evolution at macro levels? Is it the causal elements of nations and all its components, that means its government, industries, organizations, and academia working together collaboratively that produces necessary security changes and transformation? To understand the technology-triggered transformation, revolution, and evolution further, it is important to understand the existing and emerging technologies. The propensity of interconnected and interdependent dynamic systems at all levels of NGIOA, that means nations, its government, industries, organizations, and academia, is getting complex and is expected to get more complex in the coming years. As a result, existing and emerging technologies necessitates and demands re-evaluation of the very meaning of the future of humanity. Now, we know nations are made of governments, industries, organizations, and academia, and each one of them is having a separate role in the existence of a nation. But they are all invariably linked together, having a coexistence and mutualism, sort of symbiotic relationship. The relationship between NGIOA is advantageous, as it benefits everyone within an NGIOA and harms neither. This close, interdependent, prolonged association brings each NGIOA, each one of us, an opportunity as well as risk. This mutualism and its associated opportunities and risks brings a wonderful new perspective on not only the state of human life and nations in general, but the very nature and meaning of transformation, revolution, and evolution. Now, application of evolutionary theory to NGIOA today leads us to the fundamental questions about challenges and competition and sustainability, security, struggle, and survival. This increased NGIOA competition of a digital global age is becoming a source of worry to many as it has developed highly turbulent and fragile NGIOAs. However, a broader understanding of revolution and evolution and taking into account not only the interactions within and across NGIOA but also cooperation would introduce some sort of balance into our understanding of fundamental technology triggered revolution and evolution at this highly fearful and controversial time. As I see, amidst the most extraordinary challenges of nations' existence, stands a beautiful vision of global coexistence, so deep-rooted in human heart, and yet it's ignored by so many. Mutualism, coexistence of NGIOAs, is the supposedly ultimate calling and goal of a digital global age. Each NGIOA, at a different maturity level and with different formulation, different processes, tools and techniques, culture and traditions, values and thinking, roots the complexities seen across nations. And it is this diversity and complexity that makes evolution to symbiotic NGIOA mutualism very painful, problematic, but possible. Now, amidst the ruthless competition of these digitizing economies and automation, the reality of the complex problems and current challenges sheds doubt on the necessary cooperation of NGIOA within and across nations' geographical boundaries. However, it is fundamental to understand the survival of humanity in the coming tomorrow is a case for cooperation at all levels of NGIOA. If survival, security, sustainability, progress, and development, order and balance are to be maintained in the coming tomorrow, the integration of interconnected and interdependent NGIOA is fundamental. It is understandable that nations and its components have become so adapted to the silo existence and way of life that it is very hard for them to begin imagination of the power of mutualism and collective intelligence. So let us all embark on having these individual and collective NGIOA goals to elevate the discussion on the future of humanity, to move beyond self-centeredness and sound bites and into the hearts and minds to shape the coming tomorrow. Let us all be self-aware, conscious, informed, develop our minds and evolve for the coming tomorrow.